My name's Maria Jones. I am from Chester, a little place called Saltney just outside Chester. I just turned 57 and I was in a very, very stressful job. I was a support worker for additional needs in a own home, and it could be very mentally and physically demanding. I was starting to feel like tired. I used to have little naps in the afternoon, and then I'd get a lot of pain on the left side, couldn't sleep, but just put it down to the job, being tired, stress, stuff like that. And then thankfully we took 2 weeks leave, and it's almost like that day, that first day of annual leave, everything just seemed to go wrong. I was getting more pain, couldn't sleep, I was getting twitchy legs, I was having baths at 3 o'clock in the morning. And then one morning I was actually sick and it was black, and I thought, oh, yuck, here we go. So I explained the symptoms, goes to the GP, blood tests, all came back fine. There was absolutely no red flags on my blood tests. The doctor said, right, I'm going to send you to the Countess. I went to the Countess, and it was like a consultant emergency care. And they were lovely. I went down there 3 times, couldn't find nothing wrong, examinations, blood tests, things like that. She just said, Marie, you're 57 years old, you're not sleeping. I'm going to take you for a CAT scan. So I went for a scan. Again, didn't think anything was going to happen, and they found 3 lumps in my left-hand side lymph nodes. I think that was on the Monday. On the Thursday, I was waiting for a phone call. Never arrived. And I went to my son's house because they just had their baby, their little grandbaby, their second grandson. And the phone went, and it was the hospital. And she said, it's secondary. I'm really, really sorry. It's secondary. And that was it. And that was the day of my diagnosis. I'm like, okay, look, it's fine. It's going to be fine. I'm not going anywhere. I got a phone call saying, like, you got a consultant. And they explained it was of unknown primary. Again, no idea. I'm expecting them to say, you've got between 6 and 12 months. Obviously, you do your research, don't you? You go on to Google. Secondaries, it's always worst case scenario. So I was expecting it to be worst case scenario. And then he said, we're going to treat this. And I started crying. I don't think it was because, I think it was just a relief that I think I've got a chance, And then he did say, but it's not the cure. I went, okay, that's fine. That's fine. We were going to do chemo for 6 months, and then we were going to reevaluate it after 3 months. And if it responded, that would have been absolutely fantastic. If it hadn't responded, it would have been a different story. And then when it all finished, they took my lymph nodes out. So I had a full removal of my lymph nodes. My lovely little breast nurse said, you're cancer-free now. And those words were just like, wow. Even though that was absolutely fantastic, there's always that, how can I be cancer-free? I've got an unknown primary. I've got something inside me that nobody knows where it is. Where is it? So you've always got that right at the back of your head. Where is that cancer? Because we want to know. It's like everybody knows about breast cancer. Everybody knows about stomach cancer or bowel cancer. Everybody knows about that. And then you can fix your treatment to your cancer. But with my cancer, it's just, right, we'll try that. It's Bob's your uncle, is it going to work? Is it not going to work? It's not there every single day, but it's always there, if that makes any sense. And it's scary. I'm going to the consultants now. I'm going every year now, as I was going every 3 months and every 6 months, and then I'm going every year. And I'm thinking, I don't want to go every year. I want to go every 6 months. And because they say to you, what's your symptoms? Well, my symptoms were just, I couldn't sleep. I was going around with a hot water bottle around me. What are symptoms? And that's really difficult. What if I miss it? What if I'm not as lucky as next time? Is it going to reappear? It's all those questions and all those unanswered questions, and no one's got the answers to them. Psychologically, I think it's the unknown again. That's what it is, really. It's just not knowing. I'm okay in myself at the moment. It has totally changed from being a full-time employment woman in a very demanding job to just sitting at home sometimes. I mean, I do make myself busy, exercise is the key, so I do make sure I go out regular walks, but like going to the gym and stuff like that is absolutely a no-go. did not expect to be here. I absolutely firm believe if I did not have those 2 weeks annual leave, I do not think I would be here right now having this conversation, because I still would have put it down to stress, work, Christmas is coming up. Oh, don't get 5 minutes. You're rushing around all the time and things like that. And I really believe that's what I would have been putting it down to, until maybe it was too late. Maybe, I don't know. And that's the scary bit of it as well. And consultants, please, I just beg any consultant out there to understand CUP more, get knowledge, find out what it is. You know, science is working miracles at the moment. So get focused on CUP cancer. We're only a small minority. There's only a few percentages of us, but we're here.